This is another Proporter iPod Touch case, a review of it. I did an unboxing a while back with the other one. I've done the review of that too, if you want to check that one out. This is the aluminium lined leather case for the Apple 2G iPod Touch from Proporter.com. So this is the standard kind of case that flips open. This is a really nice case. It's leather, obviously. I got the brown one, or whatever colour they class this as. They got four. This is possibly the chocolate coloured one. You can get black, teal chocolate. There's some others too. I can't actually remember all of them. So first of all, putting your iPod in the case. Really simple, just slides in. What I like about this case is that it took me a while to get used to actually. It's got this kind of frame around the iPod there. It's sort of nicely covered at each side and along the top. Then that just flips down like that. It's magnetic, so there's nothing to... I'll show you what I mean here. With some cases, I've got another one down here. Here we go. With some you'd have to do that, like with another little tab to go over. With this one you don't, which is something I like. So simple. Flip it open, use it, done. Nothing to put back. It's magnetic, so it just attracts to that bit really easily. So that's one of the best features about this case. It looks, when I first saw it, I actually didn't really like the way it looked, but after I'd used it for a few days, it grew on me. Now I love this. I love the look of this case. It's stylish. It looks really smart, professional. And if I was going to use this, which I will sometimes, I'll use the other case I got. Sometimes I'll use this one. But it makes you feel proud to be carrying around an iPod, because it looks so smart, and it actually looks expensive as well. They've paid close attention to detail on this case. It's got a nice Proporter logo on there, which I assume is aluminium, and one of the biggest features about this case is the aluminium in there. It's aluminium lined. It's got this bit that pulls out. I'm not really sure what this is for, because that's really thin. You can hear there's still aluminium in there. But I found if you take this out, there's a little less protection along the top. It makes it a little bit more flimsy. This bit covers it slightly. But this has confused me because there's stuff to peel off as well. I don't really get it. I don't see the point in it being there, but it is. You can pull it out. There's also a sticker. I haven't modified this at all yet. It's still the way it came. There's still a sticker on there that I could easily peel off, just in Proporter.com. And that's it. You can still access the 2 ports on the bottom, so there's no problems there. And getting your iPod out is relatively easy. Couldn't really be any easier in a case like this. You just have to grab a hold of the sides there. And this case being aluminium lined, I don't actually think it's got aluminium on the bottom. Oh, maybe it has. There's something there that will provide protection. I can bend that though. I can't bend the top. So they've taken more steps to avoid damage to your screen, which is the most important part. The back probably doesn't need as much protection, so therefore they've got more aluminium in the front. So if you dropped this and it landed that way, it would be fine. If it landed that way, it probably would be fine, based on the shape of the iPod and the fact that you've got it covered, the back. One thing, some bits are exposed, particularly that bit on the side where the volume controls are. All that, it's nearly half your iPod down that side is exposed there. I can hit that bit off the disc. That bit's not as exposed, just a little bit at the top. Here, that's protected. That bit's not. If I hit it in the right place. But it does, the case does sort of come out a little bit further than the iPod, so you dropped it like that, the case would take most of the shock. So it should be fine in here if you want protection. It will provide plenty of protection, especially compared to some other cases on the market, since this one has aluminium in it. It's aluminium lined. One thing I did notice about this case, a negative thing, is somehow after a while when you open this, if you've had it in your pocket for a while, the iPod is slightly pushed up like that. I keep moving this out of view, sorry. I'll just, it's slightly out like that, obviously not that far, just a little bit though, and I just kept having to push that back down, and I don't know why it did that. Maybe I just had it upside down, but most of the time that's not a problem. Just something I noticed, it did that a couple of times, and it was a bit strange, slightly irritating. But that would not prevent me at all from buying this case if I wanted a case. So if you want a case that provides a lot of protection, looks really, really nice. It also feels great to hold. It just, even without the iPod in it, it feels nice to hold this case. You can just grip it so well. I'll compare it to this one. This is an Expect case, quite cheap luxury leather case. That doesn't feel too nice to hold, whereas this feels really nice to hold. It's hard to describe and explain the difference. This one's thicker, so you can't get your hand around as easily. The leather doesn't feel as nice, even though it's luxury leather. It feels too flimsy, and it's just not as nice as this one. This feels firm. It feels like it's gripping your iPod well, and then you're gripping this well. It just works. It's a really great case. The case works. That's probably the best way I can put it. There's hardly any flaws in this case. All I can say that's bad about the case is the way that's exposed, but what do you expect? You need to get to the volume controls. That's the best way to do it. On this one, it's even more exposed on both sides. At least on one side it's protected, and the way it just slightly came up, and also the way it's got this frame bit round protecting the case, protecting the iPod, sorry, holding it in position. It can get slightly in the way if you need to get your finger right to the edge of the iPod, of the iPod screen, because it's slightly thick. It's, I don't know, probably about 4 or 5 millimeters thick, that bit, and it's really thin, so like that way around the edge. So that's not one of my favourite bits about the case, but that's more of a problem with the iPod, because if you want that bit protected, then that's the way it needs to be. So I can't complain with that about the case. If I wanted one that didn't have it, I shouldn't really be comparing it to this one, but I am. This one has a little bit like of that bit going around to protect that bit, but it stops. I actually prefer it going all the way around. It protects it more. So again, it's not something I should be complaining about. I'm just telling you it doesn't lie completely flat. If they're the two bits covering either side, they sort of come up like that, because it's just not thick enough. It gets stretched round very, very slightly, though. It's really not a problem. Don't let that either put you off purchasing this case. So it's another case, fantastic case. I would highly recommend this one, especially if you need protection on the screen. If you're someone who drops it, I don't want to drop it very far. I don't want to risk damaging this at all, because it's an expensive piece of equipment, device, iPod. But if I did drop it, I have dropped it a few times out of my pocket when I slipped out my hand, whatever. I have dropped it without any case. This would provide a lot more protection than nothing around it does. This is more protective than air. Air generally isn't protective, and I've seen plenty of people actually break their iPods. So you do want to get some kind of case if you've got an iPod Touch or an iPhone or some device like that. Definitely get a case. So this is an option for you: Proporta aluminium lined leather case. You can find this at proporta.com. That's proporta.com. They have loads of other cases and accessories there too, so you might want to check some of the other things they sell out. But this review is about this case. That's where you'll find it. You'll also find me on my website with a live stream, a live chat, my blog, and lots more, and you'll find that at jackie.com. Thanks for watching.